Hi, hello there everyone. So this is Richard from Richie's Gaming Gadgets and Gizmos here, and today we're going to look at the 6th generation smartphone from Motorola. It's the Motorola Google Nexus 6. It's a powerhouse of a phone, one of the biggest contenders for the iPhone 6 Plus from Apple. It's the first of its kind in the phablet range of phones from Motorola. So today's video is going to be focused on the unboxing of this brilliant device from Motorola. Pretty good, strong, solid box. This is the 32 gig version, and a nice big 6 on the front. And it's a big box, so I guess the expectation is there's a huge phone inside. So let's go ahead and unbox it. Let's see, the good old-fashioned cake cutting knife here. There you go. So I guess I can just vacuum, suction there. Nice. So that's what it looks like when you open the box, and it's an impressive device. Now I believe this model comes in 2 colors: midnight blue, which is this one. It's a nice feel to it. It has a plastic type of feel to it, and the midnight blue is around the perimeter, as you can see here. So I think it has midnight blue, and then there's a white version as well. So you can see the Nexus logo, the brand, and of course the Motorola logo there. And this camera, I understand it's a 13 megapixel camera, and this little beast can actually, in addition to recording video in 1080p at 60 frames per second, this can also do 4K video. So you're talking about 3,840 times 2,160 pixels, right? That's 4K resolution at 30 frames per second. So this is a pretty powerful camera. So initial impressions as far as the aesthetics of this, before we go into the details of this box, the contents of this box. You know what, let me just talk about this first. So let me just remove the screen protector. There you go. Nice, very nice. There's a little bit of plastic there. So first off, so there's the front camera. This camera is a 2 megapixel camera. Then you have your mini USB connection here at the bottom, and then on your left hand side there's no buttons at all, which is pretty nice, because I find that with some phones, when there are buttons on either side, there's like the power on one side and then the volume on the other side, and lots of times if you're fumbling for your phone, you might turn off the phone by mistake. You're not sure which side, which button is on which side. But this, what I like is that all the buttons are on this side. So you have your power button here, and then you have your rocker button here for your volume up and down. And the top here is another port. I believe that is where you put your SIM card, and I can see it's a mini SIM that goes in there, or maybe micro. I think it's mini. All right. So it's a plastic feel. One of the things to note, so if your hands are sweaty, it may leave some marks, but it can easily be wiped away with a nice lint cloth like this. You can just wipe it away. So that's just the initial impression. So for a guy, you may have to have like hands like Shaquille O'Neal to be able to really use this phone with one hand. But I have a regular size man hand, and as you can see, using the phone and getting full, using my thumb to type or text with one thumb, it's going to be hard to get across the entire screen, especially at the top. This is a two-handed phone. You hold it with one hand and then you can do your typing and whatnot with the other. And for women and children, yeah, it's going to be even more of a challenge. But hey, I mean, look at the screen. So this screen is actually, they say 6 inches diagonally, but it's actually roughly about 5.9 inches from diagonally, roughly 5.9. It's a QHD AMOLED screen. The resolution on this, as I said, it's 2560 by 1440 pixels resolution, and it has about 493 pixels per inch. So that's the pixel density. I believe the iPhone 6 Plus has just over 400. I think it's like 401 ppi. So the Nexus 6 has 493 ppi, so much better pixel density. One of the things about this device too is the battery. So the battery on this, I mean, to power such a beautiful screen like this, and in my next video I'm actually going to power it up and look at the Android Lollipop version and see how well some of the applications on here works, including some games as well, of course, because I love my games. But the battery is a 3220, so it's 3220 milliampere hours, so mAh. One of the so Motorola claims that you can actually charge this battery in 15 minutes. That's 5 minutes, and get up to 6 hours of usage. So that's pretty impressive. What's cool about this as well is, let me just turn it around. Here's the side. Yeah, what's cool about this as well is I personally like a bit of weight in the phone, because I feel, if it has that weight to it, it gives you that feel that it's a high quality phone. This phone weighs about 184 grams. It's a little heavier than the iPhone 6 Plus. I believe that's a 172 grams, but it has a decent feel to it, pretty rugged. Of course, I would be afraid to drop it because it's it's a very high-end phone. So what I'm going to do in my next video, I'm actually going to compare this to the iPhone 6 Plus. But before I go into the contents of the box, one other thing I want to mention as well is that there are 3 things that this device and the iPhone 6 Plus have in common. So one is that they're both 6th gen devices, and both phones are this is the first phablet type phone that both Apple and Motorola have come up with, and they're both huge. So that's 3 things I want to say that are common between this and the iPhone 6 Plus. But it's a pretty decent phone. One thing I would mention though, it's curved, right? Designed to really hold your hand, which is good. But I usually like to, if I have the phone on a flat surface like this and I want to text, right? It's going to be hard because it's going to rock from side to side. So that's a small bit of a disadvantage to that design, that it's not flat. It doesn't lay flat on a flat surface so that you can type away, because it rocks, right? But the reason I guess they made it curved is that it can fit comfortably and smugly in your hand, and you can use it there. So let's look at the contents of this box. So we have the nice red rectangular box, and I believe this will hold your so what's this? This is your some instructions without words, which is good. So it says you plug in your power supply, you charge it in the wall. It's one of those international ones where you can actually use like the North American type outlet, European type outlets is there as well, and other parts of the world as well. And then your power switch, so you hold it for 3 seconds to turn it on. I love this. Right, so I mean it crosses the language barrier, right, when you have images in an instruction manual. Oh, and then there's more instructions here. So using this little key, this is how you can actually take out the SIM cradle, put your SIM card in and put it back into the phone. And this is your little mini key here. So I mean, if you lose this, don't panic. You can also use a paper clip. Right, that usually works. That's the trick as well. Same thing with the iPhones. You have your safety and warranty booklet. It's in French, English, and Spanish. That's that. What else do we have? So we have our mini USB cable for charging, and our ever-friendly AC/DC adapter. All right, it has the North American pins on it. And I believe that's it. The rest of this is just a shell of some sort. So that's your Motorola Nexus 6 phone. One other thing I'm going to say before I leave, what I like about it is that the bezel is very, very thin. So you get a lot more real estate when it comes to your screen. And the fact that the bezel is thick on either side here is good for gaming still, because you can still hold the device, with your both hands and not touch the screen. You can still hold the bezel, but when you have it in portrait mode, the bezels are very, very thin, so that's pretty good as well. The front-facing camera, I think I mentioned before, it's a 2 megapixel camera. I think the iPhone 6 Plus has a 1.2 megapixel camera, and the back we have the gigantic 13 megapixel. I believe the iPhone 6 Plus has the same camera that was on the 5S, which is an 8 megapixel camera. So this is your Google Nexus 6 from Motorola. First phablet of its kind, 6th generation phone from Motorola. So my next video, I'm actually going to do a side-by-side comparison of this phone with the iPhone 6 Plus, and so we can just compare the specs and do a head-to-head comparison and see. I'll give my personal view, which I think is the better phone. Okay, so that's Richard from Richie's Gaming Gadgets and Gizmos signing off. You guys have a great day now. Bye.